Go.
Alright, this is BC from thetestdriver.com. We are actually going to show you how to do a cheap oil change on this 03 GMC Yukon. Alright, first off, go to the like Checker Auto Parts, O'Reilly's, any Pep Boys, any of those type of places, Napa, and pick up some oil. They can tell you how many quarts you need if you don't know. An oil filter, they'll be able to tell you which one you need. And sometimes they have deals. Like a lot of times oil is very expensive, but right now I found this high mileage stuff, over 75,000 mile cars, and the oil filter all for $15. So if you do it yourself, you can save some money. To start off, pull your car in a garage or wherever, get your jack, make sure you're on the frame, not the plastic pieces. The jack stands at least a ½ inch or less away from a frame, just in case the hydraulics start to release on you. Okay, open your hood so you don't have to get back in your car when you're all dirty, and that way you can get the oil in. First, before you go underneath, you will take off the oil cap. Go ahead, stay there. Okay, that way the pressure will release to get all the oil out. Okay, make sure you have the safety brake on. Okay, now grab yourself some cardboard. I just tore down a box that we had from Christmas. Okay, get a cardboard so you don't get oil all over your driveway or your garage floor. Get a bucket or whatever you're going to use to put the oil in, and then put it underneath where your drain plug is. This is your oil. That's your engine. This would be the transmission. We're going to go for the oil and then the oil filter. Okay, I went ahead and loosened them up a little bit so I wouldn't have to fight them. You really shouldn't have to fight them. So you just make sure they're loose. Make sure your bucket's ready. When it spits out, it's going to spit out a little ways. So when you take this off, kind of put some pressure on the bolt so that until all the threads are undone. And then when you can feel that there's no more threads, just pull it and then let it fall into the bucket. Okay, no sweat. Then once that's done, we'll go after the oil filter.
Ready.
Okay. Now while we're waiting for it to totally drain, take a look at your plug, and on the end there's usually a magnet, and it'll show you how many or how much shavings of metal are on it. This one still looks pretty good, especially for a 90,000 mile car. You're just getting very, very minimal shavings. Okay, so when it starts to drip like that, or less, you can wait longer if you'd like. You just stick this back in. Okay. Do it with your hand until it's snug. Take a rag, wipe the bottom of it, take your wrench, just give it a little snug. Okay, like that. Not too hard. Okay. Then comes the real messy part. So you got to get it under your oil filter. Let it drain into this bucket. So some cars are easier than others. You can get a wrench to do this. It shouldn't be too tight, so you should be able to kind of push with your base of your hand, kind of push on it at an angle, and it should start to come like that. So then you just fast, let it go, drain around it, releases the pressure. Like I said, have a cardboard box or something underneath it, because as you can see, it could get kind of messy. And once that starts to drain, you can spin it a little bit more. And then it's nice to have a rag, even if you have a glove, to make sure you don't get too much oil in your glove. When you take it off, you pull it sideways, dump it into the bucket, and then go from there. So we'll wait till we actually do this. Okay. Now we're right at the edge. We've spun it a couple times, release the pressure. So now the oil is just whatever's inside the oil filter. So take a rag, spin it the rest of the way, and then dump. Like so. Whoa, don't dump it, don't. Oh shoot. we still got stuff coming out. Okay, we tried to rush it a little bit to do the video. So like I said, always have cardboard or something underneath you.
Ready.
Okay, here's the new filter, here's the old filter. Okay, you can see that they're dirty. The one thing you need to remember is to make sure, see the little rubber seal that's on the edge? Make sure the old one still has it on, because if it's not, that means it's attached to the engine, and you'll have to get it off before you put the new one on. Okay, what I like to do is, because they always say to kind of lubricate this, I just stick this on here, kind of make the circular motions on it, which puts some oil on the new seal. Okay, makes it very slick. If this is a big filter, I recommend pouring half a quart or whatever into the filter, kind of pre-lubing it so you don't have a dry start. Okay, take the old filter with the new box, put it in upside down so it doesn't drain, close it up, and you can get rid of it. Okay. All right, that's the mess. Now we'll take this. I'll show you. On small filters, it's not as necessary. But I'll show you what you do. You pour it down the center of it until it gets to the top. That way you have some fluid in there so you don't have a big, huge air bubble when you're starting your car. Okay. So now, come on down here. Join our mess down here. And now we're going to put the filter under the engine. Screw it on like that. Get it as hand tight as possible. Okay, that's tight. Oops. Alright, and that's it. Get to the next section.
Start.
Okay. Get your oil. Okay, ready. This one takes 5 quarts. You can use a funnel that's like this. Sometimes they have bigger ones. If you look right down here, that's the filler tube. It's a pretty big hole to begin with, away from the engine, so I don't normally use this. But if it was on the engine itself, then I would use one of these. So you take one of these bottles. I just go sideways like so. Start pouring it in. Then you can just dump it upside down and let it go. Now you'll do this for all 5 of them. You'll check your oil with your oil dipstick. Okay.
Go.
Okay. So now we've finished filling it. Okay, the 5 quarts. Make sure you put the cap back on. A lot of people forget that. Make sure the dipstick's back in after you check the level and make sure it's at least real close. Okay. Then you're going to come around to your car, to the driver's area, grab your keys, and you're going to turn the car on, and then immediately look underneath your car and make sure there's no leaks from your filter. So here we go. Okay, you're down here, you're looking for streams or sprays. Don't see anything, so I think we're going to be okay. Alright, come back up. Turn your car off. Okay, so now that we're done testing everything, make sure your fluid level is correct. You're going to come back where your oil is. If you dumped your oil in a reclaim bucket where you can actually seal it off and then run it down to your local parts store that takes the old oil, or you can put it back into the bottles. Okay, this is the bottle we used, but since I have a 5-gallon one still left, I'm going to put it back into that. So you just put a filler tube neck in there, take the oil bucket, and just start pouring it down into here. And the only bummer part, if you have the 1 quarts, is you have to do it 5 different times. You fill this up, and then just take it down to the local parts store, dump it, and they'll take care of it. That's it from thetestdriver.com.